Jonathan and Madeline longed for a child. Years they spent trying, years filled with hope and then despair.
I masked my pain behind my words, becoming more cynical, sharper, crueler.
Madeline never gave up hope. She believed in miracles. She clung to the belief that one day their dream would come true.
I just knew deep down that one day it would happen for us.
Jonathan, however, grew more bitter with each passing month. Their friends, weary of their plight, suggested adoption.
Adoption? No, I want my own flesh and blood.
Madeline, ever the optimist, suggested they try one last resort, a visit to the mysterious Merlin's Emporium.
What if we tried Merlin's Emporium? It might be our last hope.
Jonathan, despite his skepticism, reluctantly agreed. Merlin's Emporium was nestled at the end of a cobbled street, hidden from casual passers-by. The air crackled with an unseen energy. A tarnished brass bell clanged as they entered. The scent of exotic spices and herbs filled the air.
This place looks ridiculous.
Jonathan, ever the skeptic, surveyed the shop with disdain. Shelves overflowed with strange ingredients, dusty books and peculiar artifacts. A wizened old man with twinkling eyes and a long white beard sat behind the counter, reading a massive tome.
Can I help you?
The old man's voice was surprisingly strong. Jonathan, in his usual abrasive manner, launched into a tirade about their predicament.
This is absurd. Magic? Really? I should write an expose about this nonsense.
Merlin, for it was he, listened patiently. A faint smile played on his lips. When Jonathan finally paused for breath, Merlin spoke.
You doubt my abilities, Mr. Blackwood?
Jonathan, taken aback by the use of his name, merely scoffed.
And why shouldn't I?
Merlin reached under the counter and produced a small leather-bound book.
This is a book of spells. Use it wisely, Mr. Blackwood. Magic is not a force to be trifled with.
Jonathan, intrigued despite himself, accepted the book. He wasn't sure if he believed in magic, but something about Merlin's demeanor gave him pause.
Thank you, I suppose.
He thanked Merlin, his tone less caustic than usual, and left the shop with Madeline, the book a tangible reminder of their encounter.
Section 4. The Allure of Magic. Back home, I couldn't resist the lure of the spellbook. I opened it cautiously. The pages were filled with elegant script and strange diagrams. I found a spell for fertility. The words were both alluring and terrifying.
Days turned into weeks. Jonathan became obsessed, poring over the book, practicing incantations, gathering ingredients. Madeline watched with growing concern. Jonathan was distant, consumed by his quest for a child through magical means.
I tried spell after spell, but nothing worked. Frustration gnawed at me. I became convinced that I wasn't powerful enough. I needed more potent magic, more potent ingredients. Section 5. The Price of Power. I stumbled upon a spell for rejuvenation, a spell that promised to restore youth and vitality. An idea sparked in my mind. What if I could use this spell to increase my magical potency? The book warned of consequences, but blinded by desperation, I ignored them. I performed the spell, using a lock of my own hair. I felt a surge of energy, exhilarating and terrifying. I repeated the spell again and again, becoming younger, stronger, more powerful. But there was a price.
Each spell drained his life force, aging him prematurely. His hair turned white, his skin wrinkled, his body weakened. Madeline watched in horror as her husband, once vibrant and full of life, withered before her eyes.
Section 6. A Mother's Love. Desperate to reverse the effects of the spells, I turned to the book once more. I found a powerful rejuvenation spell requiring a blood sacrifice. I hesitated, my conscience battling my desire. Then I looked at Madeline, her face etched with worry, and made my decision. I drugged Madeline's tea. Once she was asleep, I took a vial of her blood. I began the incantation, the words echoing in the silent room. Suddenly, a blinding light erupted, throwing me backwards.
When the light subsided, Madeline awoke to a horrifying sight. Jonathan was gone. In his place lay a baby, his eyes wide and innocent. The spell had backfired, regressing him to infancy.
Oh my God, Jonathan?
Madeline, her heart breaking and soaring simultaneously, realized the truth. She was no longer just a wife. She was a mother. She would raise Jonathan as her own. nurturing him, protecting him, loving him unconditionally. The spell that was meant to grant them a child had brought about an unimaginable twist of fate. A chance for Madeline to finally experience motherhood. And in that moment, cradling baby Jonathan in her arms, she knew that everything had changed for the better.